It was 2 days before my birthday, and I broke my fibula. I had broken my fibula actually my senior year of high school.
Yo, welcome my corner peeps. Welcome to another episode of Crockett's Corner. I'm your host, Ray Crockett, and let me tell y'all, this one's gonna be a hot one. We got a guy sitting in the hot seat that was the #1 pick in the draft, 7th overall, 2011 draft, picked to the San Francisco 49ers. Of course, he had all the accolades, All-American in college. He's been to the Pro Bowl, been All-Pro. The man has had trials, tribulations. He's had success. He's had sorrows. He's had everything that this show is about, changes and pivots. And boy, wait till you hear this story. Welcome, my guy, Aldon Smith. What's going on, bro?
What's up, Ray? How you doing?
Man, Aldon, I'm going to jump right into it because, you know, this is Crockett's Corner. And I don't know if you've seen the show, but the tagline is we give it to him straight with no chaser. So we ain't coming with the bull. We coming with the really real, as the young folks say, the really real. So I'm going to jump right into it, man. First of all, you were born in Greenwood, Mississippi. And when I first started, studying you and doing my research, I'm like, Greenwood, Mississippi, oh, snap. That is cotton country. My pops is from that area. It's 85% black. But then I kept reading further, but you didn't really hang out there long. You left early, ended up going to Grand Rapids, Iowa. Let's talk a little bit about your upbringing in Grand Rapids, Iowa, because you were born in Blacker Than Black and played your younger years in Whiter Than White. How was that transition, and talk a little bit about it?
So I was born in Mississippi. I was there for a couple months, and then we moved and landed in Iowa.
Luckily,
for a couple of reasons. But I landed in Iowa in a city called Cedar Rapids. And so Cedar Rapids was, at the time, so people think of Iowa, first off, we got to get this Iowa thing correct, because
right.
Iowa is obviously a state, but every state has their cities, and people migrate from all over.
Right. So, and it's a bunch of blacks in Iowa. People don't know that because I visited there with the Hawkeyes. So it's a lot of blacks there, even though it sounds white, but it's a lot of blacks there.
Yeah, and when I was there, everybody was migrating from Chicago. So remember the projects that they took down in Chicago, all the migration of those people, a lot of them ended up in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, so they came with all
they came with a lot. And we didn't have no family.
Yeah, I ain't family. I don't want nobody coming after us, but yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't have no family. So it's just us. And you got families moving there. So, you got to, figure out how to maneuver through whatever it is that you could possibly come up against. But living in Cedar Rapids, I was fortunate to live in Cedar Rapids because education,
right,
opportunity, and not saying that those aren't other places, but if
it definitely wasn't in Mississippi.
I was going to say, I feel like if I was in Greenwood, my chances would have been tougher.
Right.
It would have been tougher.
But I mean, I'm sure you would have overcame that. But you didn't. Here's the kicker. I'm looking at your story and I'm like, okay, #1 pick in the draft, 7th overall, and that's major. But I'm like, when did this kid start playing football? Because I didn't see anything about football.
Yeah, so I was in Cedar Rapids and grew up playing soccer, basketball. We were in a lot of we were always active. So if it wasn't taekwondo, then it was something, swimming. We stayed active. But I started with soccer. My neighbors were Mexican, and my mom's job at the time, they worked with a lot of people who were immigrants and coming over, and so we had people from the Rwanda genocides. They came over, so those kids, it was a lot of the people that I interacted with were playing soccer.
Right.
And I was good at it. So,
and it was a good thing because that's a melting bed. So you had to actually get along with a lot of people at an early age, which some people don't have to do. That was good for you, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. And basketball, I joke, but basketball, I played basketball, but I wasn't as good as I wanted to be at basketball. Right. But basketball is also super confident sport, so you got to be headstrong and stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those one-on-one games. You got to be willing to basically have a lot of swag and be confident within your own self. And that wasn't you.
That was a struggle at the time. a big struggle.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your family, because you mentioned your mom, you mentioned your dad. I know you guys moved around a lot. How was the household growing up?
So my parents, we all moved to Iowa, and then my sister was born, I guess 3 years after. I guess she was born 3 years after we moved there. So you got us 4, and you know, living in the household, and it was good until it changed, you know, and I don't know if it wasn't bad,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, but when it changed, and by that I mean my parents separated at pretty early on in my life. I was probably in 5th grade.
Oh, okay,
You know.
okay. So that happened. That all happened in Cedar Rapids.
That all happened in Cedar Rapids.
Okay, so the change happened. Now you're living with basically in a single parent household. Then you guys make a move from Cedar Rapids. So did your pops go with you on that move when you guys moved to Raytown, Missouri, or was it just your mom and you and your sister?
So when my parents separated, my dad moved to Kansas City, Missouri, and my mom, we stayed in Iowa. Okay. And so none of our family lived there. So everybody, mainly our family was down south, and we were spread apart, you know, spread around. But my mom has 4 sisters, and 3 sisters, I'm sorry. And they all were kind of in the Atlanta area and the Florida area. So when it was, I guess, the right time for her, and she felt like it was the right time for us, obviously she's the mom. So she wanted to move back to Atlanta. And I was like,
you wasn't having it. You wasn't ready for that culture shock.
It wasn't even the culture shock. So like, I was always going down to Atlanta, you know, because her sister, my aunt, would live down there, and my aunt's boyfriend at the time, he played ball.
Okay.
And so, you know, he was kind of, you know, we work out and whatever, and just have a, you know.
He played football.
He played football.
Okay.
And so I would go down there and spend time with them, but it's still just me. And, you know, and you down there, I feel like during the time I grew up was like, not during the crunk movement. So like the
you wasn't confident enough for that. You were.
I can't just be, I got nothing but girl cousins.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, and they not ugly. So if we all go out, it's me and 6 or 7 girls, and I gotta protect them. I ain't trying to fight every day. I'm not trying to fight every day.
You wasn't about that life as of yet.
No, because I don't even, I'm just not gonna win that fight.
And you know, but I can tell you from what I'm hearing already though, you may not have been confident in the sport arena and all, but you were astute. You were astute enough to know what you didn't want, what you could and could not do. So let's talk about, okay, now you move out of Iowa, all right? You're still a soccer player and a basketball player because now you go down to Raytown, Missouri. When did the football thing hit? Because I see you play basketball, AAU, and a lot of stuff. Well, let's start here. Did you get better at basketball?
I did. I didn't get to where I thought I was like good until I got to college. Probably that's when my whole athleticism took off. But my AAU team, we played against guys who are, some of the guys are still in the league. So, you know, we played against KD. We played against Drew Holiday, Derrick Rose. OJ Mayo was the guy at the time, and he was balling. Greg Oden. Like we played against. You played
against the Heat.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm 6'5", 6'6" on a good day, and you know my handling skills ain't like that. You know they wasn't like that at the time, and I'm seeing these dudes the same height as me, and they
got guard skills.
They playing. You know, like they doing it, and so you know I got on the football field, and the first time I was on the field, like in an organized, because don't get me wrong, I grew up playing football.
Right.
Like, you know, like everybody, you play on the Sunday after church or whatever. But first time I got on an official game, we had a 7-on-7, and it was Raytown. I went to Raytown High School, and we played Belton, and Belton was like #1 in the state. And I'm just, I moved to Kansas City with a chip on my shoulder, so I didn't care I didn't care what the situation was.
Yeah, you were ready. Yeah,
I think I had like 4 touchdowns or something like that. I balled out. So
but you had a predominantly basketball school at the time. Raytown is look. I played for the Chiefs. I know Raytown very well. They wasn't known for football, so you start playing football your junior year. You go out, you ball out. Did y'all have any success? I mean, what was that about?
Yeah, like I don't know if they're still known for basketball, but we definitely weren't for football. We won 1 game my junior year, and we won 3 games.
Damn. My man. My man. Damn. Like I had the Kevin Hart show. That was damn. All right, 1 game.
So he learned about adversity real early. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And because you got to keep it. And see, that's what people don't understand is that, especially for you transferring from another sport, so to speak, being green, because I didn't play football to my sophomore year, and I know it was like my first couple of weeks. It's different. Playing throw up tackle and all that stuff at the park is different when them pads come on. So were you successful, I guess? Were you immediately good in football?
Yeah.
That's special. That's special within itself. So how did you because this is the hard part, how do you keep your mindset focused when you're getting your ass kicked?
Well, because me one-on-one, nobody was beating me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody was beating me. And you can get used to anything.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can adjust.
If y'all losing, we losing. You know what I mean?
So you like, let me get mine and go get. Let me get mine and I'm out.
Let's get this basketball season. Like.
Welcome back to Crockett's Corner. I'm Ray Crockett, your host. This is my man Aldon Smith. He was the 7th pick, first round draft pick in 2011. Went to the San Francisco 49ers, and man, this has already started hot, my man. You doing your thing. You in the hot seat, and you are not disappointing. All right, so now let's just jump right back into it. High school, junior year, you start football. You play well enough. Y'all suck, but that's okay. You play well enough to get scholarship offers. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about how you finished your high school career, how you feel about it, and what was the mindset of yourself when colleges started to come?
I mean, we weren't winning, so football wasn't like, when you're not winning. If this makes any sense, like it didn't register as like yeah because like we weren't winning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't feel like the man.
Yeah, no.
It's hard to feel like a man when you get your ass kicked. Yeah, that's a difficult situation.
It was like great to be.
But you did know that you were good though.
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
did. But I'm a competitor, man. I'm a competitive person. So, it's, you have a 1-9 season and then, you get offers. Yeah, it's good. But like, I'm ready for basketball season to come around. So
Right.
I'm trying to get that. I'm really trying to like get that offer.
So when did it separate? When did the mindset separate to say, okay, I'm not going to be a basketball player. I'm going to go full circle and I'm going to go full mindset football. When did that happen?
I had a couple coaches tell me, I think I want to say my head coach told me like in my first training or training camp or whatever,
Right.
You can be a professional or you're gonna be a pro.
Really?
He told me that.
Okay.
And
I'm sure you didn't believe him though.
I'm telling you where my mind was at. It didn't matter what nobody said. Like none of this.
Nothing was
happening.
registering.
No, nothing of this was hidden.
Okay.
I'm literally. I've moved someplace where I don't know anybody, and like, I'm just trying to survive and make sure that I take care of whatever, and that's in every walk of life. I had probably like a 1.2 GPA going into my junior year.
Wow.
I had a 3.9 and then a 4.0. My junior year, 3.9, 4.0 next year. And like where my head was at, like I'm here to get out of here.
But you know what? That's a good thing, though. At least you had a vision to get out, because sometimes that's all you need is a reason. Is a reason to succeed. But you are definitely a lost soul. So at this point, when the coaches start coming from colleges, Mizzou offer you, was there any other big schools that you were really deciding between?
There was no, not really, because it was Mizzou. I had a good visit. The team, the guys, the energy that was in Columbia at the time was a different, and I'm glad I went there because it went well for me. So
when you go to Mizzou, you take that scholarship. Now, this is where really already you've had trials and tribulations. You've already had to pivot. You already had to change, and at an early age, it seems like you were getting used to it as far as change. I'm not saying you were comfortable, but you were getting used to it. So you go to Mizzou. How was that going to play football? You've only played a couple of years of football, so you're still raw, still green, and you end up getting red-shirted.
Yeah, so I get to Columbia, and I was staying with a teammate. His name was Ziggy. So Ziggy Hood, he ended up playing for a couple of teams.
I remember Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziggy was a baller. But he had a good work ethic. So I immediately was able to like get to like work, and he's actually probably one I'm gonna credit like a lot of my hands to, because he has some real violent hands. So getting to Columbia, and I'm all pumped, I'm excited because I'm balling, and like, I'm in camp and I'm catching like the like I'm standing out. And then the clearinghouse calls, and they're like, oh, well, you're not going to be eligible. And I'm like, why? Because it ended up being me going to so many different schools. The credits must not have matched up or
Some
whatever.
of them didn't accept at some schools.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
people
so
get caught, and that's crazy, but yeah.
I had to go home. You know what I mean?
Really?
So I was back in Kansas City. Back in Kansas
So wait,
City.
you went to Columbia thinking you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to go back and take more classes.
I ended up not having to take more classes. They just took some time to look over some stuff.
To figure it out.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like I went back home. You know what I mean?
And how's that for your mindset? I mean, because you think you're going, you finally release yourself from that pressure, from that strain, from all those relationships, and then you have to go back there.
I really wanted the title like true freshman. You know, like
right.
I wanted that title. I wanted to hear it.
Right.
And I was hurt. You know, I was mad. But once again, I took that to the approach on how I'm gonna attack practice. You know, and so I'm on scout team, and they got scout team going against the ones.
You killing.
I told the group our scout team was giving it to the ones. It was giving it to the ones. And anybody who knows me knows that's true, but we was giving it.
Look, he like, and I ain't lying, y'all know.
We was giving it to him, man, because most of us ended up starting the next year, you know. But my whole approach was, you know, I'm gonna show somebody like y'all made the wrong decision.
Right.
And so that's how my freshman year of college started off.
So what position were you playing then?
Defensive end.
Because you was at defensive end then already as a freshman.
Yep.
So now you finish your redshirt freshman year, and now we got to talk about this though, because this is where, for me, this is where the tough energy part comes in. This is where we get it straight with no chaser. This is where the seat get hot.
Mm-hmm.
Your freshman year, you're in Columbia, you're on redshirt, so you're not really playing, you're not focusing. Mm-hmm. Where's your mindset? Where's your mind? What do you look? I know college. I didn't get redshirt, and I'm glad I didn't, because I was in Waco. I know what I would have been doing. Yeah. What were you doing?
At what part?
Your freshman year.
I was
partying.
I was enjoying my freshman year. You know, not knowing that I didn't have to go out there gave me an extra day to party and do whatever and be a freshman.
Okay. Yeah. So when you had your first drink, or were you? Let's just start this, because I don't know. Were you a drinker in high school at all?
No.
So
it was my freshman year.
Your freshman year was your first drink.
Yep.
And
so it's college. I'm in a frat. I'm the only black guy in an all white frat.
You joined an all white frat?
Those are my guys though.
Don't tell me you joined Zeta Beta Zeta.
No, those are my guys.
Come on, man.
Phi Cap. But
I give your frat some love. I ain't gonna cheat them.
Phi Cap.
Okay. All right. So you're a black Phi Cap drinking bong beer.
So no, it's the drinking style. You know, it's finish it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring a fifth, and I'm gonna finish it.
Right.
So, and we had drinking days. I think it was Wednesday was something, Sunday fun day, but
and people don't know. A lot of people don't know that that's what college is. It's about grades and playing football, but it's really about the parties too, and especially when you're in a frat. So for someone like yourself who already had pain, who already had trauma, who already had all these things inside that you didn't know, I'm sure the drinking helped you get away from it and helped you not think about it.
Oh yeah, it helped me be whoever they saw me as, because I struggled with anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. Like I said earlier, man, like I ain't
your confidence wasn't up.
My confidence wasn't up. I feel like if my confidence was where it grew to, like I would have been a hell of a basketball player.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, and this is what's so crazy, and this is why, like I said, why I was telling the world that this story is going to be hot, because there's many high school, college kids that go through this. I've seen it myself in college. You really wasn't even yourself. You was already masking who you were with the alcohol your freshman year. Like the alcohol turned you into Aldon Smith, that dude.
Yeah. The whole time it was survival. You know, that's that, and I keep saying that, and I mean that by like the way I'm interacting with life is a threat. Right. So my interactions, whatever switch I gotta turn on, I gotta turn things on instead of just walking into something. And so I didn't know that was that at the time.
Yeah. You weren't thinking that. You were just being a kid. You was 18, 19.
People, once drinking progressed, so why do you drink? Well, I'm doing it because I want to have fun.
Yeah, you're doing what all the college kids are doing.
Yeah, well,
not knowing that
my
it was a
answer was
mask.
doing it because I want to have fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not because, hey, I'm nervous or because I'm this and that. And that was the truth of
Right. So you finally get on the field now your freshman year. And man, I'm looking at your freshman year, your redshirt freshman year, ball out. You Big 12 Player of the Year, your first time really playing in college. And I have to ask you this. You were drinking and balling out like this, All-American, everything already. So you were learning how to do it with the two in, already at that.
Yeah, but I didn't drink. I drank normal.
Okay, because you knew you had to play.
Yeah,
you got focused.
And there's a lot more you got to be. It was a lot going on. You got all these places you have to be, and it was just I wasn't, I was just trying to fit in what everybody else was doing, and nobody else was drinking every day.
Right, but yet and still, you go from being basically an unknown redshirt freshman, to being Big 12 Player of the Year, All-American. How was that transition? I mean, because that's heavy for somebody like yourself who wasn't even used to balling.
Yeah.
Now you the man. You that guy.
I don't think it was registering in my mind as that.
Right.
Because even when after I finished up that year, and then I started getting you're projecting you to go to the league, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
After 1 year.
It's not registering, I mean? And so it's registering, but the way that I processed it was, okay, well, let's get to this work.
Yeah, let's get to this work. Now you get serious.
Yeah.
Because now what that old high school coach told you is really in front of you. It's coming to fruition. So now you the man, you big time on campus. I'm sure everything changes for you. How did that boost your confidence? How did that do with your inner soul?
It still was, I'm taking care of my business on the field. I'm living life, I'm enjoying life. But as far as like how I interacted with the people, it didn't change it at all.
You're still the same guy?
Still the same guy.
So your sophomore year, going to your sophomore year, you the guy, you got big aspirations now. Were you thinking about going to the league already? I mean, was that your plan, I should say? And if so, did you talk to anybody to get to that mindset?
I don't think I was looking at it. It was something that, obviously crossed my mind.
Right.
But it wasn't in a way where it's like a distraction or creating some unnecessary anxiety that I don't have to have. If anything, I wanted we played Oklahoma, that was on the calendar, and I wanted to win that game. Like, I wanted to be a leader. I wanted us to keep going up.
So you were thinking team because you've never been on a winning team.
That's the thing.
So you were thinking more so team more than individually.
My thing is I've always wanted that family feel.
Right,
since I
didn't have that growing up.
You know what I mean? So if I'm on a team, I'm always trying to outdo the next guy so I can make sure I'm carrying my weight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's where that loyalty comes in, because I know you're a very good loyal guy. So your sophomore year, you go through your sophomore year. Here's another trial. I mean, like I said, man, shit's been real with you already.
For sure.
Let's be up front. Yeah. It's been real already. So you go and now you're All-American, you're ready to have another good year, you're ready to ball out with your team, you're ready for all the success, and you get injured. You break your fibula.
Week 4, I think we were playing against Miami, Ohio or something. It was 2 days before my birthday, and I broke my fibula. I had broken my fibula actually my senior year of high school, and during basketball, and I missed our state championship game because of that. We were undefeated and ended up not being able to play.
So this is the second time you broke.
Second time. Well, it was a stress fracture then, and it finally broke right before my birthday. At the year, I'm ready.
You're turning how old at this time?
I'm turning 20.
Turning 20.
Yeah. So I am preparing to leave. In my mind, I'm like, I'm balling out.
Right.
So that happened. I sat out 4 weeks.
Play 4 weeks, sat out 4 weeks, come back.
Get an interception against Oklahoma, run it back. And
a star is born.
Hey, there we go.
So at that point, when do you actually make the decision? Because for the world to know, in 3 years, you can leave college. So you don't have to be a senior. You could be a redshirt freshman, play 2 years and leave. So when did you make that decision? Okay, I'm entering into the draft.
As soon as we finished our bowl game. We played Iowa in our bowl game, and we lost that game. And
that's full circle.
Yeah, right. Right? Real talk. This whole thing.
You know what I mean? Hey, let's just be real.
The more we talk, it's going to be like, wow. Yeah, but played them, and I was like, I want to go. I'm ready to go.
Decided to go pro.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I know y'all out there, look, Crockett's Corner, man, we're coming back. I cannot wait to get to this part of the story. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Crockett's Corner. And I know you guys you are just like me. You see me bouncing back and forth on the edge of my seat because this is crazy. So we're going to go right back into it. This is my man, Aldon Smith. You decided to declare for the 2011 draft after your junior year. Trials and tribulations just everywhere. Now, it gets hotter now because you're picked to be an early pick. They're looking at you as a possible top 15, top 10 pick. You're getting ready. You go to the combines. How is that? Because I know how that is. I was a combine guy. I know what they do at the combine. It's a ruler search. Like they're all the way down to the 3 inches of everything about you. How was those interviews and how did you make it through that?
The combine wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me for just I was playing I was trying out for outside linebacker and defensive end, so that was an adjustment.
Double duty. Yeah.
I wasn't the weight that I was wanting to be. I came in around like 260. I think at the combine I was like 287. I was big.
Wow.
And so none of my tests were good. None of them, not the 40. I was running a consistent 4.5. And like a low 4.5,
and if I recall, you ran like 4.7, 4.8 almost at the combine.
Bad.
Yeah, I remember that. So how did that affect you? First of all, let's talk about this. How did the interviews go? Because before that, for top picks, now I was 86 pick. It's a little different. I had interviews, but not like what you guys asked. How did the interview process go for you?
26 teams. I entered that many teams. So
wow.
So I
did 4. Look, damn. They didn't like me.
Man, they just didn't know me. That's
okay, maybe that.
Sure.
Thanks for.
They wasn't sure.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for helping me out. So you got 26 teams.
26.
What was some of the wildest stuff they tell you? Because you get all kind of questions.
I'm gonna tell you the first one wasn't on my calendar, and it was the Patriots. So I literally walk out my room, and then Bill Belichick, hey, can you come over here real quick? And so I go in there, and I never met him. This is the first time I met him.
So that's out of the blue. You ain't even prepared. He just said, "Come on in." He's like, "Come on in." Like let me get. And you know what? That's a Bill move. That's a Belichick move.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because he and it was probably illegal.
Hey, it was good though. I enjoyed because I learned at the same time. I was just, in the moment.
Right.
But did the interviews, and I had to fly to all those cities too. I had maybe not 26, but I flew. When I took my visits, I was going all around.
Right.
But the combine was it was a lot. It was just a lot going on.
It's a meat market. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a meat market. And you not being a very confident guy, just a natural confident guy. I'm sure you're more confident there, but it's tough. It's tough to do that over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. It was. I didn't really have any wild interviews, but there were a lot of people in a lot of rooms. I got to ask some questions, but it was nothing, I'm more harder on myself than anybody could really be.
Right.
If anything, I left there definitely not feeling like I was going to get drafted in the top whatever. I was
because of your scores.
Yeah.
Because all the. Okay, so then you go to Pro Day. I'm assuming that's what happened, that you came back as Aldon Smith at Pro Day.
At Mizzou, yeah.
Yeah.
I came back to Pro Day. I'm laughing because the guy who worked, it was just me and another guy, and he worked us out. He was at Jacksonville, I think, at the time, and that was the hardest that I've ever had to not throw up. Right. I kept it in because it was obviously a bunch of people around. It was just me and him, but that was tough.
And quite frankly, I'm gonna be real with you, because you didn't do so well at the combines. They talk to the guy who's gonna work you out. They're like, he's probably fat, overweight. They say those things behind your back. So now they like, when you get there, let's see if this guy's in shape. Let's see if he's ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're gonna pay you that kind of money and draft you that high.
Yeah.
So that's why they worked you so hard. So were you prepared for it?
I was in shape.
Okay.
I was definitely prepared.
So you from 287. What was your weight now?
I don't know. I probably 270, around there.
Mhm.
But it wasn't what it was in Indianapolis.
Right.
You know.
But your speed and everything.
I was good, and I was back home. That was like the first time I seen the guys and everything. Like, I was good.
So you in your element, so it was good.
Yeah.
So now you're back on the map, because I remember vividly all of the stories that came out. This was the guy we thought we would see at the combines. After you, how did that make you feel? How did you feel at that point? Because then you get invited to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that turnaround in your mindset? How did it feel?
I'm still just there. When I got to New York, it was me and the guys who were like my brothers.
Right.
And so it was just us and enjoying New York. You know what I mean? Draft comes and everybody else was kind of nervous. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. So I'm not even, I mean this in the best way. Football wasn't like my dream. So like it was a
way to get out.
I wasn't like looking at it with like, if this goes wrong or if this goes right. I'm just like, yo.
You just happy
I'm
that
trying to make sure everybody else is all right. The guys I trained with was kind of, some people were a little bit nervous.
So your 3 years at Mizzou, I have to ask this question. Did the drinking get heavier? Because you started that was your first drink. Were you a heavy drinker during this time, by the time you get to the draft?
I say, so the whole time I'm prepping for the draft, no drinking, no nothing at all. But in college,
so you had control though. You had discipline and control. You could withstand it. So you weren't to have a drink at that time.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So now you're in New York. Did your family go? Because I know that was a straining situation.
Yeah. So I mean, truth be told, like my family, I didn't personally invite my family at the time. I got there and had a change of heart, and they ended up coming out. But for me, it was like, who's the people who were family to me is who I invited.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, those are the guys who were with me after the game. Those are the people who I was talking to about what was going on and who seen me go up. They seen.
So you had that kind of chip. You had that kind of chip towards your family, like, I'm good. Like,
man, it was me. You know what I mean? And I mean that in every way. Like, I'm the one who made the decision to, hey, I want to get these grades. I want to take this type of intensity to whatever I do, that I stand out. You know what I mean? And by that, I'm the person who talked myself into the next step, the next step, the next step.
So you made all these decisions. The draft, you didn't call pops or nobody and say, hey, I'm thinking about you just took control of your own life at this point.
My AAU coach helped me out with the whole draft even like the selecting the agents and et cetera, and not on no kickback way. Like he was,
he's just your dog.
Yeah, I mean.
So it was lucky that you had him, because but the reason why I'm saying this is because, dude, you don't understand what just, that's tough within itself. Not just to migrate your way through college, to get prepared for the draft, to make all these because these are big major decisions, these are grown ass man decisions that you're making at 20, 21. What was the stress and strain? Or you was just in the moment, just said, I'm just doing it?
So the way I kind of look at it, and this is my take on it so far, is God has been my guiding force.
Right.
And so, whether if it was, hey, get out of Mississippi to go to Iowa to have a better opportunity, choose between Atlanta or Kansas City, go to Kansas City now, I'm not necessarily knowing, you know what I mean? I'm just going with what I feel.
Right.
And so, when I get to the next step or whatever it is, it's not necessarily I'm super confident in what I'm choosing.
Right.
I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to make the situation work out right.
And you were anointed. I mean, let's just be real. I like that you said that you had a mindset because of the early church days with the Baptist, 7-Day Adventists with your pops. And so you had an anointing mindset. You were a child of God for real. So that's.
I'm not gonna say I thought that at the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? At the time, I was focused on trying to just get free.
Right.
You know, and so getting to New York, being around that, everything was. I was never thinking long term. Everything was short term.
Yeah, everything was in the moment. Everything was right now. I handled it as it comes. So you get drafted. You hear your name called, because this, for you especially, man, from what I'm hearing, the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You got this big log. Look, you got a block, not a chip. You got a block on your shoulders. They call. And 7 pick, Aldon Smith, San Francisco 49ers. What does that do to you?
I'll never forget, my good friend was sitting right next to me, and he was like, when the cameras came, he was like, man, cry. I was like, man, I ain't about to cry, you know, but like.
He telling you, he crying. He like, I don't want to be crying by myself.
Cry. I'm like, no, I ain't about to cry. Like, anyway, you know, I'm happy, you know, but, you know, it's still, I'm in the moment, and the moment's over, it's over.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I remember shaking Roger's hand, and then my coach was right there, you know, so I went and, you know, hugged him, and then got on the phone with the Niners again, and was on a jet and was in California like the next day.
So I gotta ask, mom and dad, no hug, no nothing, you just.
Oh no, we all hugged. You know, I embraced everybody. Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
good.
No, it was
At least you had that feeling.
Yeah, I wasn't. Nah, I'm not petty like that.
Right.
You know,
and I like that about you.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to say it, because I wanted to make sure it was a family moment. I saw the draft. It was a family moment.
No,
You got
It was definitely a family moment. But I'm saying, as far as like my thought process at the time was, you know, wow, you know, shake his hand,
right?
You know, on to the next.
San Fran, get there. You're the guy. I remember vividly seeing you play, and I'm like, damn, I didn't expect this. This dude is good. Did you expect the ball like that first and foremost? We'll answer that quickly, because you end up getting basically defensive rookie of the year. Did you expect that?
So no, but yeah, because like you know, I'm
no, but yeah. Which one?
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, I of course to produce.
Right.
You know, I work hard. Like I really, like I train hard. Anytime I do something, I do it like to the max.
Right.
And so.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, I bet.
Look, we're gonna come back to doing it to the max, but go ahead.
Yeah, man. So like, I didn't play as much at the beginning. So once again, that chip was about to appear again, and so I got my first sack against Philly, against Vic, and it was off to the races.
Yeah, and you own.
And so rookie year successful. I'm balling out. You know, the city's live at the time. San Francisco was off the chain because everybody was winning. You know, it was the Warriors, the Giants, the Sharks.
San Francisco is a big sports town with a great tradition. From the Jerry Rices, the Montanas, I played against them guys. So I know that tradition, and I know that city as well. San Francisco is not a great party city for blacks. It can shake you up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So now you finish, you have a great, successful rookie year. Mm-hmm. The offseason comes.
I go to Miami.
You go to Miami. Party up, big money, all this. You get your first DUI.
Yeah. Yep. So I get a DUI summer of my rookie year, or after my rookie year. And that story's, it's because I rented a car, and my friend had like 7 cars.
And that's what a lot of people do.
Put me in a bad position. I put myself in a bad position.
How does San Francisco look at that?
So I get the DUI, and it didn't even register the magnitude or what it meant didn't register to me. You know what I mean? It didn't register. Oh, this is a big deal.
You just think, I got caught one time. I've never been caught before. It's just a ticket.
Yeah. Well, it's not even. It's just you can't. This isn't something that's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it didn't register as that to me.
Right.
It was kind of like, damn, man. You know, And so get that, and then it went DUI, Then I ended up getting in an incident where I was stabbed twice. And then I ended up having my son, knowing that, I'm about to have a son. So this is all in like,
one thing after another. And the promising career, the takeoff, now you're spiraling a little bit. But you don't know you're spiraling because, like you said, in your mind, it's not that big as of yet.
Well, after I got stabbed, you knew. And it's just unfortunate how that story got told and the parts that got spoken about the story, because nothing was mentioned about like what really happened. And I think it was, I'm a thug and all this other stuff, but
yeah, you're a thug, you're drunk,
all
because the NFL will label you quick. And that's the one thing that people don't know about the NFL. The NFL will place a label on you, and you basically got to earn your way out. So with that incident, now you go back your second year. Or you looked at differently from the team, or are there any rules and regulations now? Because when you get popped,
I want to say this real quick though, because the NFL will label you as whatever, media will, but also I put myself in that situation, and
you're taking responsibility.
And due to a lot of factors, I didn't have no foundation, so it's only a matter of time before it collapses. But as far as how the team players treated me, nobody. Just go work hard, bro.
Yeah.
Work hard.
Work your way through it.
Work hard.
Yeah. But you didn't really have any guidance at that point, because your dad, your mom is not really in your life to really talk to you about it. Like you said, that foundation. And the players, everybody trying to feed. Everybody trying to eat. So at this point, as long as you good as long as you're on the field.
When I got to the league, it was the lockout was going on. And so there were no official team workouts.
Right.
So I was, working out with the guys who were the players, the veterans, and we worked out hard, but we partied hard.
Of course.
What I mean? So me not knowing that I have an underlying, deeper issue at
the time.
I'm just
right.
joining. I'm just doing.
Yeah,
I'm picking right back off where I left off in college.
You big time rookie. Big time rookie, big time money, and you Aldon. And now you go from that to actually going to the Pro Bowl, making All-Pro, even after getting stabbed, even after getting a DUI, you still are focused on that field. You still that dude. Now you get all these accolades, you go to the Super Bowl your second year, then it starts to go downhill. Talk about that. After the Super Bowl, what was that offseason like? After you All-Pro, you're the man at this time.
So I just want to say, I was going through all these struggles and I was always successful on the field.
Right.
And I don't think it's fair that people can detach. I'm still a human. Like you know what I mean? So
hell yeah.
Me drinking has nothing to do with how I'm gonna attack this game.
Right.
I'm not saying like drinking won't affect you, but I'm saying as far as my mental approach, I was playing for something totally different. And so, I'm having success, but like I say, this was only a matter of time before it collapsed.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, you are masking a pain that you never attacked. I mean, that's what my whole book is about. Bump and Run is about attacking your issues. You have not did anything so far at 23 now to solve the problems that you had growing up, from the household, from all of that.
So when you got in the program, you had to get a counselor and a therapist, right? So I get my first therapist and we're talking and stuff, and our trust got broken because, I'm honest with her about a situation, and she ends up.
It's supposed to be client, it's supposed to be attorney, basically therapy, client privilege.
And so I'm shut down. I'm shut down.
She ended up telling you business.
Putting me in a bad position with now the team, and so the distrust was once again, You
didn't have mom and dad to trust.
Nobody.
You didn't have nobody else. Now you can't even trust a therapist.
No, it's just me.
So now you like, for lack of a better word, F it. I'm in this by myself.
Back to relying on me.
Yeah.
And at the time, that wasn't the person I should have been.
It's never, because that person already made some bad choices.
I might actually disagree with that. I want to say, I believe that I thought initially the first thought was always probably the right thought, But me wanting to fit in and wanting to maintain a persona and not knowing who I was or any of that, you know, me voice is this, but the other voice is that loud. You know what I mean?
You got the two on the shoulders.
Man, I feel like I had one. Like, yeah, bro.
And he wasn't a good one.
Nah, do what you want, bro. Like, do what you want. Like, we gonna do this tonight. You know? And so it was only, you know, the blow of a wind. I'll be over here.
It's only a matter of time. Yep. It's only a matter of time. I told you this seat was gonna be hot, y'all. The block is hot. But here's the good part, though. There's always change and pivots that you can make in your life that can make it better. We're gonna see if Aldon somehow, some way got it together. We'll be back. This is Crockett's Corner. Welcome back to Crockett's Corner. We're going right into the story. This is Aldon Smith. I know y'all just like me. Y'all want to know what happened. Now you're suspended for a year from the league. Charges were dropped. Still suspended from the league. That year turned into 5 somehow. What the hell happened?
So I get out, and that first year out, I'm just living like a normal civilian. I'm gonna just simmer it down. I had money and I had freedom, and
bad combination. And you had time.
I had time, and I was known. So I enjoyed my time. You know,
I don't mind.
I enjoyed my time. But I'm gonna say something that's actually not known is, during that time, I went to close to probably 10 inpatient facilities for you know, rehab centers.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the biggest, I don't know, pivotal things that happened in my life.
Right.
Just because of what I learned, who I was around, and hearing different stories.
Right.
And
it's horror stories in there. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been to rehab, not for alcohol and nothing, but mental, you know, and there's some stories in there. There's some stories that you hear that are horrific stories. So did any of those stories wake you up? Did it snap you?
I'm gonna say this: I've lost 35 close friends from 2013 up until, you know, a year ago, and lost a significant other to, you know, overdose, suicide. And it's...
You said 35?
35 people. And so nobody really knew all the things that was going on. You know what I mean? Like, people lose people, yes, but in those intimate environments, people tell you things they don't tell their family. You get really close.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's the point of that. And one thing I really, that's helped me out and propelled me to where I'm going today, and what I'm passionate about is, in those environments, I was always the guy who people would talk to about whatever was going on with them, and I would be able to listen to them and then give them a little bit of knowledge or just whatever I could tell them to help them see something a different way. And I ended up, you know, like I said, I ended up getting close to a lot of people in there.
Right. So you finally found a family, so to speak, that you thought you could count on, that you had, that you could relate to.
I'm gonna say it like this: my relationship was with the treatment world at the time. You know, sometimes I would go to treatment sometimes just so I could make sure I don't die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how wild I was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I go there, I get away. They take your phone, you know, you got food, you got bed, you know, and you're gonna get realigned. And so that's how lonely my life was.
That's what I was about to say. You're really going there because
environments.
You isolated yourself.
Something.
Yeah. Let's stop. Did you think your career was over though?
I wasn't thinking about football, but the thing is, I was still getting calls. I'm still in the program. I'm still taking drug tests. So
1 year turns into 5 years.
Turns into 5. So, because I'm not thinking about it. I'm trying to like.
So you had already disassociated yourself from football.
Yeah.
Because you were fed, for one, you were fed up with the way things happen. Some stuff that wasn't true in your mind, you were unfairly treated as well. So now you don't give a damn about football anymore. And let's just be frank. you never really gave a damn about football. Football was always a way to escape.
Yeah, because you got your helmet on, and I can either get hit or hit. And, you know, my relationship with pain was, you know, I'm used to it, so let's get it.
What do you do now to start making changes? Where does your mindset go? Because I have to see when did it click to you? Because I've been with you here and I've gotten to meet you. When did it click? After that, I'm done with football. Now I got to become a citizen, and an upright citizen, a citizen that you know that can really do something in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When did that happen?
So I feel like the NFL was my preschool, kindergarten, or it was my first of my rookie year, I guess. You know, NFL that was my rookie year to life, and now I get to live. Now I get to actually, for once, like do, and all these things I want to do, I get to do because, you know, the NFL. Had I not been given the chance to be in that environment, it would not have been able to help me be able to relate to so many people and have so much range on how I communicate. Because what I want to do, what I'm passionate about, I love people. And I like seeing people, you know, happy. I enjoy seeing and helping people get to that place. And by going through the battles, the struggles, having the rough childhood, struggling with you know, substance and struggling with mental health and just all these different things that affected me in negative ways. I learned from each and every one of the experiences, and it's helped me get to this place where I am now and have this gratitude and have this, like, I'm hyped because, like, I get to start now. Like, I get to start my life.
Man, that's the. Man, I'm gonna give you one of my books because this is the book Bump and Run. It made me, it saved me. And what Bump and Run is basically what this man is doing right now. Bump and Run is realizing your flaws, admitting your flaws, getting up close and personal every day to attacking what is your problem area. Because at the end of the day, you've taken risks to do things that's not healthy and to do things that doesn't help you gain success. Keep that same energy to do things that is healthy and that will gain you success. Aldon, I appreciate you, my guy.
Thank you.
This is Crockett's Corner. I told y'all the block is hot. We will see you guys next week.